Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I don't know why, but I think that every time it's your first day in your job and any other job that you're going to be doing in your life, it's like the universe conspires for it to be a mess. I'm telling you guys this because today I'm going to be telling a story about my first day volunteering at a hostel in Sofia, Bulgaria. For those of you who watch my channel here, you know that I sometimes put out some stories here telling some stories that happens at hostels, some good and other ones that are a little bit weird or bad and are scary. But I always like to be sharing stories and things about travels that happens to me while I'm traveling around. So I went to Sofia, Bulgaria, and I found out this hostel. I was in contact with these people, and they accept my CV to work there with them. And then my first day there, when I arrived at this certain hostel, they said, "Okay, welcome to the hostel. You're gonna like this place here a lot." And the place was really good. They said, "Okay, today's your first day, and you're not. Actually, today you're gonna just relax. You know, you're gonna meet the other people here, the other volunteers, the other guests. Relax. You know, take your time if you want to stay here with us." And then tomorrow it's going to be your first day, and then we're going to be training you to work at the reception, a little bit of everything: reception, breakfast, preparing the breakfast, and the cleaning. I said, okay. And then they told me, tonight, before you go to bed, we're going to show you how to set up the table for the guests tomorrow for the breakfast, because you're going to be responsible for the breakfast. And then checking out. I said, okay. So late at night, before I went to bed, they showed me how to prepare the table for the guests. Very simple, you know, easy to do. I said, okay, it's nice. And then they told me, tomorrow we're going to be training you in the system for you to do the check-in. But for now, it's only this: setting up the table for the breakfast and to do their checkouts. I said, okay. So far so good. So far so good. The next day, I woke up early to prepare the table for them. And then when it was around 7 to 7:30, a guy out of nowhere appeared in the door of the hostel. He knocked the door, and then I opened the door for him. And then I said, okay, can I help you? He said, I need a place to stay. I'm looking for a place to stay. I don't have any booking. He didn't look for any place on the internet, nothing. He just was passing in front of the hostel, and he said, okay, I'm gonna stay here. And he said, okay, I'm looking for a place to stay. How much do I have to pay here for a day and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, okay. And then I asked him for his passport, of course. I took a picture of his passport, and I was so lost that I didn't know what to do at that moment. And then I said, okay, do I take him to the room? And then I asked people help, because it was my first day, but the other volunteers, they were sleeping. And I already had worked in other hostels before, but every hostel that you go to has its own rules, its own different ways to work with. Even though it's kind of alike, you know, doing the procedures of checking in and checking out. But hostels, sometimes you go to a hostel that they use some kind of different programs. Anyway, I said, okay, what do I do now? Do I call the other volunteer to help me out with him? Or do I try to make this? And then I said, okay, I'm going to take his passport first here, take a picture, and then I'm going to ask for help. And then I take a picture of his passport, and then I went to show him the bedroom, because he was looking for a place to stay. He didn't know the hostel. Sometimes people go there and they just don't want to pay first to stay in a place. They want to see how is the place that they're going to stay, how is the bedroom, how is the shower and everything. I said, okay, so far so good, I'm going to show him. And then I took him to the bedroom. I said, okay, this is the bedroom, this is the price and everything. And then he said, okay, I'm going to stay here. And then he just put his bag over there and lay down on the bed. And I was like, what's going on here? But then I was the one to blame, because a day before, the other volunteers, they told me, tomorrow you're going to teach you the check-in, but first you're going to be doing the breakfast. You're going to be responsible for the breakfast and the checkout. So we're going to show you here. And then tomorrow we are going to teach you how to use the system on the computer. So I had to wait first. But then as this guy came from the out of nowhere, this Turkish guy came, I said, okay, I'm going to do a first step, you know, because the other volunteers, they were sleeping. And then I said, okay, I'm going to show him the place, and then take a picture of his passport. And then when these people come, I'm gonna wait for them to come downstairs to teach me how to do this procedure. And then we'll take him to to the bedroom. Anyway, I did a mistake and it was my first day and whatever, forgive me for that. I was kind of nervous because I wanted to be productive in my first day, but then sometimes you have to wait for people to teach you first. It's an advice that I give you. Please do not do things by yourself if you don't know how to do it, because there are things that you can solve. There are problems that you can solve by yourself, but there are procedures that you have to follow. And it was my first day. I had to wait for it. So I went to the other bedroom with which these other volunteers, they were sleeping. And the other volunteer who was sleeping, I said, I have to wake him up because I need help. I said, please, can you help me? And this guy he was from Spain, a very cool person. I said, can you please help me? Because there is this guy here, he came out of nowhere. And then he told me, Daniel, tell him to wait a little bit because now it's not time for the check-in. The check-in, it's later, it's not now, he has to wait. I said, why do I do now? Because the guy is already on the bedroom. Okay, so I went to the bedroom and then I knocked the door. I told him, sir, I need you to go back to the reception because you have to do the procedures first. You cannot come here and stay in the bedroom. And then he was very angry. I said, what do I do now? And then he didn't want to leave the bedroom. Okay, so I went back downstairs again, and then the owner had arrived at the place at that time. And then I said, okay, thank God that the owner is here. I said, can you please help me? Then I explained him the situation. He told me, no, go back there, tell him to come back here because he has to do all the procedures. And then he didn't even pay me yet because he thought only because I took his passport with me, took a picture, and I went just to show him the bedroom. And then he just, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna sleep here. But then he had to pay first. All right, and then the owner told me, go back there and tell him how the procedures are. When I went there, this guy, he was so angry and he was already snoring. He was sleeping, deep, like very deep, sleeping very nicely. And then I said, sir, please, sir, I was like this, sir, please, sir, waking him up. And then he said, what is your problem? I want to sleep here. Can I sleep here? I need to sleep. I said, sir, please, you have to go downstairs because you have to do the payment. And then after you pay me and after I explain you everything that I have to explain, and then you come back here to the bedroom. And then he was very angry. He said, you know what? I'm not gonna stay in this place here. This place doesn't respect the guests. And I was like, it was my first day, people. And then he took his bag very angry, went downstairs, and then I told the owner he doesn't want to stay here anymore. I explained to him, and then he doesn't want to stay here anymore. And then the owner explained to him, I'm the owner and blah blah blah, it's like this, how it works. And then if you don't want to pay, you have to leave. And then he told us, yeah, I don't want to stay here in this place because how come I'm sleeping in this place in the bedroom and this guy, and then he pointed at me, and then this guy goes there and he's waking me up. And then the owner was like, because it's the procedure, you cannot just take your bag, enter a place, whatever is a hostel or a hotel, and just go to the bed and sleep. You have to take your document, you have to pay first. And then he said, no, I'm gonna leave this hostel, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And then the owner told him, okay, you can leave. And then he goes, towards the door, ready to leave. And then he stops like this towards the door, look like this behind. And then he saw the cafeteria, like the milk and the things that was on the table that I had put for the breakfast. And then he said, can I have a cup of tea first? And I was like, what? He wanted to have a cup of tea before leaving this place that he didn't even pay. And then the owner told him, yeah, sure, you can have a cup of tea. I was like, what is going on in this place? So he goes there, he takes this cup of tea, he drinks it. And then, because before he was very angry, and then all of a sudden he's acting nice just because now he has a tea. And then I was like, okay, if the owner told him to have the cup of tea, who am I to say no? And then he drinks this cup of tea and leaves. And I was like, is this happening to me? And then, this was my first day. And then after he left, the other guests started to come downstairs to have their breakfast before checking out. And people, I don't know what happened because the machine the cafe machine, it was supposed to be working, because one day before, late at night, the other night before, they showed me, okay, you just put the coffee here, the powder, you press this button and the coffee goes like this. It was perfectly working. And then after this Turkish guy went away, this crazy one with the cup of tea, the other guests started to come downstairs for the breakfast, and then they were asking for the coffee. I said, no, you can serve yourself in the machine, it's okay. Showed them everything that they had to do. And then the coffee was not coming down to the cup. You would press the button and it wouldn't work out. I said, what is going on here? Why is everything a mess in my first day? And then a lot of people, they said, okay, never mind. I will drink juice. I will drink milk or tea. The machine is not working. I said, I'm so sorry because this is my first day. I was so nervous. And then I said, no, it's okay. I believe, as far as I can remember, 3 or 4 people, or maybe 5, they checked out without drinking coffee. But then another guy, I don't remember where he was from. He said he saw the way that I was nervous, that I was trying to make everything work out, but it was my first day. Please give me a break. Forgive me for that. And then I said, what's going on here? Can I help you? I said, I don't know what to do. It's my first day and this machine doesn't want to work. He said, okay, can I have a look? Can I take a look on it? I said, sure. And then he said, okay, what is the button that I press? And then he pressed the button, poof, and then the coffee on the cup. And I was like, why is it working with you now? Because I pressed this button, a million times and it didn't work out. And then he said, okay, never mind. It happens in our first day at the job. And I don't know why, but every time that, I don't know if it has ever happened to you, that you were starting a new job and the first day a lot of crazy things happens. And then after that, the other volunteers, they were already awakened to start their day. And then when they came downstairs to have the breakfast, I told him, please never leave me here alone again, because this and this and this and this happened, and they were laughing. And then after that, we were all laughing. And then this girl told me, it's okay, you just didn't have a good luck on your first day here, but it happens. But I was kind of desperate. But after that, everything worked out fine. But in my first day, it was my first day, everything was supposed to happen very nicely, because a day before, during the night, everything seemed okay. And then after that, everything worked out fine, because they were training me in the reception, showing me the system and everything. It was a place that I made a lot of good friends. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys the story here of my first day working in this hostel at Bulgaria. It was a little bit clumsy, but it was also fun. It was an experience in my life that we will never forget. So this is the story, and I hope you enjoy it.